All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in today's video. It's been a couple of days, and I just saw that Aaron Rodgers, there's some random report out there that Aaron Rodgers is interested, and it might have even been that he's leaning towards returning to the Pittsburgh Steelers, or maybe it was vice versa. Pittsburgh's leaning towards bringing Rodgers back. And, you could see this Rodgers jersey here. If you guys watch this channel, I'm a Packers fan. I love my man Aaron Rodgers, QB1 forever. I don't know why on earth Aaron Rodgers would not return to the Pittsburgh Steelers with or without Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy was a phenomenal coaching hire. He got a lot of backlash. When that was officially first came to light a couple of weeks ago. And I'm telling you, I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's because of the way the Dallas tenure ended, because Dakota Prescott got hurt, so Dallas had a bad season. And you're under Jerry Jones's microscope. You're under, it's America's team. Are they really America's team? Not really. I don't personally know that many Dallas Cowboy fans. But Mike McCarthy is an offensive-minded head coach. And for the first time in my life, the Pittsburgh Steelers go offensively. It's like the first time ever, it feels like. So they're changing it a little bit. But if you ask Steelers fans, they're upset because it's like, the standard's not the standard anymore. I'm sick of going 10-7 and losing in the first round of the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Steelers feel like they have not won a playoff game. First off, they haven't won a playoff game in years. We're getting closer and closer to like a decade. But they haven't had a statement win. They haven't had a playoff win. They haven't had this crazy playoff win since like a long time ago with Ben Roethlisberger. So they decided to go offense with Mike McCarthy, and obviously they had Aaron Rodgers last season, and Aaron Rodgers is a free agent, but I believe he will be back. I don't really know why they won't bring him back. I'm a pretty big Will Howard supporter. However, way too much of a gamble, way too risky. Mike McCarthy's not starting Will Howard at any point this upcoming season unless injuries or tanking. And Malik Willis is like the top free agent quarterback. And you guys, I just said I'm a Packers fan. Like, I don't really think any team should go out there and their first choice should be Malik Willis being their starting quarterback. I was looking at it. So Pittsburgh's got about $30 million in cap space as it stands. They can free up a lot of it. However, they also might be putting out a decent amount of extensions. I feel like I've got a list somewhere on here. They have $30 million cap, 21st pick. I feel like they've got a bunch of draft picks. There are an unbelievable amount of free agents on this list. So I just had a weekend. Buddy was in town playing some golf. Didn't really work. It's the week after the Super Bowl anyways. Rebranded Will Upton, doing a lot of face content, doing a lot of edits, and it's just like exhausting editing stuff. But I saw this article because I'm thinking, about to go on a trip. I don't know. I haven't made a Upton off video in so long. I read this article about like ranking the top 20 Steelers free agents this offseason, and I click on it and I'm like, the Steelers have 20 the Steelers have so many free agents that they need to rank them on a list out of 20. Like, for example, there's like a Atlanta Falcons one out there, like the 8, ranking the top 8 impending free agents for the Atlanta Falcons. Pittsburgh's got freaking 20. And as it stands right now, I've got it right here. They have 6 starters on offense hitting free agency, and their names are MVS, Calvin Austin III, Isaac Seumalo, Aaron Rodgers, Kenneth Gainwell, and Connor Hayward. There's a couple of more bench players like Andres Pete, Scotty Miller, Max Sharping. Defensively, James Pierre is a free agent, and Kyle Duggar is a free agent. And like Asante Samuel, Cole Holmcomb, Jabril Peppers, Chuck Clark. There's a lot of starting offensive free agents, and there's a lot of bench defensive free agents. Defensively, this isn't really a defensive video. Patrick Graham was recently hired to be their defense coordinator, and as you guys know, I get so many comments about this damn Raiders thing. I've covered the Raiders for so long now, independently on YouTube, but Patrick Graham, if he's given control of his defense and given control of his scheme, Patrick Graham is one smart cookie when it comes to defense, and obviously there's a whole multitude and lither of talent in Pittsburgh and that defense. And yeah, some guys are getting older and some guys are getting paid contracts. A good way I would describe the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is there's a lot of players who are getting paid what they are no longer worthy of getting paid. So, maybe you see some casualties. I wouldn't throw that out of the equation, but my main thing, and every Steelers fan's main thing, is offense. Because this team keeps making the playoffs, and they keep losing in the first round. And so last year, Pittsburgh obviously loses to Cleveland, and their season, they missed the playoffs. And if you watch these games, you're watching DK Metcalf got suspended because of some idiot Lions fan. That dude's an idiot. I don't even know what DK did wrong. That whole interaction is so stupid. If you go to a football game and you act like however that Lions fan acted, you are just... I don't want to know you personally. Like, they say it got into his head. I mean, the freaking Lions, you guys missed the playoffs. Like, give me a break. Nobody likes looking at that. No one likes watching it. It's always, like, uncomfortable if you're around somebody like that in a stadium. But the point is, DK Metcalf got suspended, and this dude Aaron Rodgers got nobody to throw to. So Aaron Rodgers is old. He's on the wrong, he's over 40. But the dude still got it. Aaron Rodgers was the best part about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense last season. So I look at it, I'm like, of course Aaron Rodgers is coming back. And then they go and get Mike McCarthy to be their head coach. And I'm like, of course I think Mike McCarthy wants him to come back. You look at it like this. If this season is that big of a failure, just draft a QB. Next year's draft class looks to be unbelievably better than this year's maybe one first-round QB at number 1 overall for Fernando Mendoza. Next year's draft class or free agency class looks better. You have guys like, these are two really bad examples, Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson in the division. They're not getting traded there or anything like that, but quarterbacks move everywhere all the time. So even though this year's biggest free agent is Malik Willis, I mean, Kyler could be playing for Minnesota. Kyler could be playing for a different team. Who's Miami's quarterback? Who's Cleveland's quarterback? Even though there's not a lot of free agents, there's options out there for some of these teams, and I just think Pittsburgh is more suited next year to be doing that. As far as all those offensive free agents I just named, I don't really think any of them are pressing and dire. Like, Isaac Seumalo at left guard, that might be the worst one. It appears as if every team that needs a guard in this upcoming offseason wants Isaac Seumalo. Every fan base, when they're making their mock off seasons, want their team to sign Isaac Seumalo. But, Kenneth Gainwell, Aaron Rodgers always talks about how he wants to get Kenneth Gainwell paid. He's about to get paid. Now, he's a great running back to have in a West Coast offense. I think he's 26 years old. But you've got Jaylen Warren, you've got Caleb Johnson, who had a really horrible rookie season. Still draft, free agency. I don't anticipate Kenneth Gainwell. He's going to get a payday, and I just don't anticipate them bringing him back. MVS, Scotty Miller. I mean, no. Those were two crazy reaches. Didn't really notice either of their impacts. They're both good as gone. Now, Kelvin Austin III, he's been pretty underwhelming in the sense of statistics and consistency if you're looking for stardom. But Steelers fans love him. He's a talented kid. He's extremely fast. He's a big-time play waiting to happen. Aaron Rodgers likes him, and he's not going to get a bunch of money in free agency. So the offense is going to look a little bit different, but not that much. So when you look at the wide receiver room, all right, is Pittsburgh taking a wide receiver at pick 21 overall? Maybe. Are they going to go out there and get, let's see, some free agents I've seen predicted to Pittsburgh? Rashid Shaheed, I think, is not discrediting Rashid Shaheed in any way, shape, or form. The Seattle Seahawks probably do not win the Super Bowl without him. I don't really think that's fitting what this team's looking for. What I think they're looking for is like an Alec Pierce. Now, Alec Pierce, everybody wants Alec Pierce, including it looks like the Indianapolis Colts. I don't really think Alec Pierce will be playing for a different team. I could be wrong. I got a buddy who's a Colts fan. I should ask him if Alec Pierce is returning in his opinion. My wide receiver number 1, Romeo Doubs, more suited for a wide receiver number 2 role. He's an impending free agent for Green Bay. I'm sure they want to pay him. I'm sure my franchise would love to pay Romeo Doubs and get him back in a Packers jersey for this second contract, but I don't see it happening. Guarantee you he's playing for a different team next season. So realistically, I think you're looking at like a DK Metcalf. You're looking at a Romeo Doubs. You got Calvin Austin still, Ben Skoranek, you got Roman Wilson, underwhelming third rounder from a couple of years ago. But first round, second round, third round wide receiver, ideally one or first or second round. Like, could you imagine if the Pittsburgh Steelers bring back Aaron Rodgers and then in the draft or free agencies first, they pick up Romeo Doubs, and then in the draft they pick up like just some wide receiver at pick number 21. I think like Lemon out of USC could possibly be on the board there. The point is, Pittsburgh, a first round wide receiver, Romeo Doubs, wide receiver 2, and then DK Metcalf, because without DK last season, first off, teams, even when he was playing, were just preparing to eliminate him completely. Say, Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have to throw to some of these tight ends. You guys are going to have to run the ball and throw to these tight ends and these running backs or other receivers not named DK, because we're going to blanket him, we're going to bracket him, we're going to double team him, we're going to make it uncomfortable to throw it to DK Metcalf. And then, like I keep saying, in the final game, 2 games of the season, without DK, this Pittsburgh Steelers offense was just horrible as far as the passing game goes. So I think that weaponry is exactly what Mike McCarthy wants. I think that weaponry intrigues Steelers fans. I think it intrigues Aaron Rodgers. And I know some Steelers fans, like, I know you guys want to throw in the towel sometimes. I see it in the comments. I see it on Twitter. I know some of you want to just get into a rebuild. Just go all into a rebuild. Just get that quarterback. But it's not as simple as that. It's just not. And one thing Pittsburgh continuously does a great job of is drafting. And so even if you have this confusion at quarterback where you have Kenny Pickett and then you have Russell Wilson and you've got Justin Fields and you've got a 40-whatever Aaron Rodgers, it's not the most ideal quarterback situation or the most ideal quarterback future. You're a little uneasy, you're a little uncertain. This team does such a good job of drafting that, when you have to give these guys extensions, that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have. So they draft so well. Now it's the post-Mike Tomlin era. I think Mike McCarthy, I think he knows what he's doing. He's such a legend, and I'm so glad he's back in the NFL because, once again, just as a Packers fan, like, when we fired him, I think it was 2017. Actually, it probably was 2018 because I believe I was a sophomore in college. It needed to happen, but very bittersweet. And then he goes to Dallas, and even though I hate Dallas, I don't really hate Dallas at all, actually. But I was rooting for Mike, and I'm definitely rooting for him and hopefully Aaron Rodgers this upcoming season for Pittsburgh. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily content. We're still trying to hit 200 subscribers by the end of February. Thank you for all your support. We're going to ramp up the consistency here, but it is just a little bit slower in this month because, first off, the scouting combine is next week. We're a couple of weeks away from free agency, so you only really get I think a comfortable two-week break, loose period, and we're in that right now. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts, specifically on Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh, but also anything you have to say. Let me know down below. Goodbye. Thank you for watching.